Right now, it feels like the entertainment world is ruled by Marvel, and while I do enjoy some of that, my heart will always belong to DC, because DC animation is what I grew up loving. I still believe the DCAU is the best thing to ever air on television, and while the live action adaptations have their ups and downs, the animated movies and shows will always be the best in the biz. So this month, I'm going over some of the best animated DC shows and movies they have to offer. But this year, in honor of Kevin Conroy, I'm going to be focusing on some of the Dark Knight's greatest adventures. His best episodes, movies, and specials, all elevated by his voice. Join me every day this month as I celebrate DCember. Hello and welcome back to DCember. Today, we're finally going to start looking at episodes from the new Batman adventures. As I'm sure most of you know, by the time Batman started its third season, Superman had already started as the next part of the DCAU. So, to both match the style with Superman and to make it easier to animate, the show was rebranded and given a whole new look, more stylized and angular. While I do love the more detailed look of the original series, I still really like the look of New Adventures. I have a soft spot for sharp geometric designs, and some of the characters look better than ever. I know a lot of people don't really like the Joker's new look, and yeah, it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it as much as others do. But anyway, the episode that we're looking at today has one of my favorite designs in the entire series. Judgment Day centers on a new vigilante hitting the streets of Gotham, and man do I love his design. This new force is known as the Judge, and he's so cool. His design is really simple, but super striking and memorable. And to be honest, he might put more fear into criminals' hearts than Batman. I mean, what's more terrifying to a criminal than the personification of the law? His gimmicks are great too, fighting with cool law-themed weapons like the sword you usually see Lady Justice wielding, or an oversized judge's gavel. The only thing about him that I don't like is that every other line of his is a law pun.
Court is now in session.
It'd be fine if it were just a few, but it's nearly constant. But getting back to the story, the Judge is going around punishing criminals. But unlike Batman, who turns the criminals he fights over to the police, he wants to be not only the judge, but also the jury and executioner. This doesn't sit well with Batman, who ends up saving the criminals the Judge tries to kill. It turns out that the criminals he's hunting aren't random, and that he's being fed information about the criminals' misdeeds by Councilman Kokorin. Kokorin wants to use the Judge as his own personal Batman to boost his ratings in time for re-election. And the next person on the list is Two-Face. The Judge rigs an explosion in Two-Face's hideout, but Batman shows up to save him. This turns out to be bad news for Kokorin, as Two-Face now wants revenge. He orders his goons to take care of him, and the councilman begs for his life, even offering money he stole from the city, but Two-Face doesn't take the deal and leaves. Meanwhile, Batman is looking for clues on who the Judge is, and after analyzing the gavel he was using, he discovers it's actually an award given to attorneys. And when he searches up a list of the award winners, he finds a name that he knows all too well. Back with the councilman, Two-Face's henchmen are preparing to bump him off when suddenly the Judge shows up, taking care of the two. However, he now knows that the councilman has been stealing money, and that makes him a criminal, and we all know how he feels about those. Batman shows up to stop him, and during their fight, it's revealed that the Judge is actually Two-Face. This is actually a great twist that I didn't see coming when I was a kid, and it makes total sense. Deep down inside Two-Face, Harvey Dent still held on to that strong sense of justice, and just like how the anger he bottled up turned him into Big Bad Harv, the righteous fury inside of him manifested into the Judge, a third personality. This is so bittersweet. It shows that Two-Face still has good in him, but even that good has become twisted because of his illness. The episode ends on a haunting note, as we hear the Judge's voice asking how Two-Face wants to plead, as he repeats guilty over and over again. This episode is still one of my favorites, with one of my favorite characters. This was the last episode of Batman, but I wish that the Judge had made some appearances in Justice League or something. He's too cool a character to use only once. I would even be open to seeing someone else pick up the mantle. I think he would work great in a Red Hood story. But even if this is the last time we see him, he definitely made a lasting impression on me. I'll see you tomorrow for more December.